Okay, now we're going to talk about what's next. Okay, I'm going to do a group of three. This is, it's called Hily, I believe, Hily, Hily, Badoo, and Wink. To me, these three are all basically the same app, and they all do kind of a similar thing, and that's why I've deleted all three of them as of right now, because they are all equivalently the same thing, and you get the same thing out of it. Hily, Badoo, and Wink are all, here's how I describe it. Mass search pool, like mass pool of people. You get a lot of connections and matches and chats very quickly, and a wide variety of people. But there's no, for me at least, it didn't feel very in-game. These apps felt very middle of the road. Like, okay, you're gonna get a lot of matches. But was there the quality of results you can find on these apps varies, and it depends. But I'd say it's mostly average to lower. At least for me, I found that it doesn't have the matching system that I would prefer, such as something like Hinge, which feels more personal. These apps dipped more into the Tinder side of things. You're waiting, you're trying to get matches. I would say the traffic is pretty high on these apps. They're very middle of the road apps, but the traffic's pretty high. Real quick, I'm just going to run through what the difference is between the three of them. It's very minor, but they're basically all the exact same thing. Badoo, the best thing it's got going for it is honestly its traffic is the highest of the three, and its premium version is $10, and you get to see, and their big thing is you get to message people basically whenever, so you can just send a message to some apps have basically some sort of blockage of messaging people, but this app is you can see a bunch of people and you can message people basically whenever you want, but then you can also still match with people, so that's its big draw. Wink is kind of in my opinion, it's basically Badoo's the best, Wink's in the middle, and Hily is the least good. Wink is just the most middle of the ground of this style of app. It doesn't have a swiping system, so it doesn't swipe like Tinder, but it's just you hit a check mark or not. A lot of these apps, some of them have super like Tinder has that. They have it's you send a super like, so somebody knows you're super interested. I think this has that. And like I said, Wink has the ability, I can say whether I'm doing friends, hookups, or dating, yada, blah, 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 blah. Hily has, I completely forgot about this, so this shows how prevalent it was in my mind and how important it was when I was using the app. There's a compatibility feature where it's it matches your compatibility in a percentage to another person, so you can see how compatible you are based on questions that you answer. So it's this person's 80% compatible. Wow. There's also a roulette wheel when you log in. Do you remember when I was talking about dating game and the apps feeling like a game? There's literally a roulette wheel that they encourage you to get on the app so that you can spin the wheel to win a reward for a dating app. Kind of crazy. So that's the kind of the differences of each one, but overall they're all basically the same engine, just with a different shell. Yeah. But the people I encountered on them were very across the spectrum, and they're also not built specifically for LGBTQ, so do keep that in mind. I think there are, obviously, I'm gonna be very transparent with my experience on most of these apps. I've had extremely positive feedback with basically every app I've used across. I've been on dating apps for about a month now. And it's the beginning. It's we're the third week. We're going in the middle of the third week of March. I've been doing it since the beginning of March or end of February. What I have found, I have had so much positive feedback on literally on every app I've used. But except for Bumble. Fuck Bumble. I fucking hate Bumble. Fuck Bumble. Bumble's shit. Bumble's for straight people only. But every other app I've found success. I've literally, in a month of using these apps as an LGBTQ trans person, I have had 1.5 negative experiences. And the reason I say 1.5 is 0.5. One thing I saw, they sent an emoji in text, but then when I went back to look in the messages, it was gone. Their message was gone. So I was it was kind of like had a ghost conversation with this person and they're just gone. And I was like, okay. But I saw the thing on my like notifications and I was like, oh, that wasn't very nice. So I don't even, who knows? Maybe they was just, I don't know. So that was gone, very out of the way. But I've had one negative interaction and it was just a fucking dick, just a douchebag guy who was like, he thought he was literally the fucking like coolest shit. I'll save that story for another time, but he thought he was fucking beast fucking knees and just was like treating people like shit. So yeah, but fuck that guy. So that was wrecking. I was like, but I've had very positive experiences with most people on these apps and nobody's like being mean. Like I'd say like of the people on these, okay, let's talk about why people are on these apps because I think that's very important. Why are people on these apps? I'm gonna start a new video for this one. Would I recommend these? No. Probably if you do pick one, Badoo, but honestly, just kind of stay away from these, in my opinion, honestly.